Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TradeXchange market wrap-up for the 28th of July, 2016. Welcome, folks. Certainly interesting market activity these days. We are more or less range-bound, specifically in the S&P 500. We'll get into some of the charts in just a moment. As you see on your left-hand side, we'll just get through some of the more macro themes that are going on. Really taking a look at the Dow, lower by 0.09% at 18,456.35. S&P a bit higher. Nasdaq higher by third of a percent at 5154.98. The FTSE lower by just about a half a percent. The larger stories here, folks, we're looking to see what happens out of Japan with respect to the Bank of Japan stimulus package. A lot of conversation about that. We're looking at activity in oil. As you can see on your left-hand side, we'll show you a chart in just a moment. Right around that 41 handle, went below that 42 handle during the day. Continued that downward trajectory in West Texas Intermediate crude. Gold a bit higher at 1342.20. Silver higher at 2023. Again, back above that 20 handle. Again, a lot of eyes on Treasury, folks. So we're the 10-year yield circling around that 1.5% handle. Remember, post-Brexit, a lot of conversation with respect to global currencies, and remember that rolls right into the way investors look at yield, right? So as money is piling into U.S. Treasury-based securities, so you'll see that a little bit of a support of a U.S. dollar, obviously, as it's coming into U.S. denominated currency. If the strength of the U.S. dollar is maintained, it has an impact on gold. It has an impact on oil because it is dollar denominated. So we see the dollar there, the DXY dollar index at 96.633. We did see some volatility in the U.S. dollar Japanese yen pairing. So again, still a lot of macro themes here, folks, and we're keeping an eye on everything for you. Real quick check of your macro indices charts. You see the Dow Jones, bit of a, I would say, choppy hour and a half or so immediately after open, both in the S&P 500 and the Dow. Will go between these two charts here, and then stabilizing a bit, and then coming through into the positive towards the close there, both on the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. Taking a look on your left-hand side, USO, this is the oil. Really consistent weakness, folks, through the trading session, and that's something that we're keeping an eye on rather closely. And we'll get into some specific stocks in a few moments. For your economic activity for Friday, remember tomorrow is your GDP, in addition to the employment cost index at 8:30. We have your Chicago PMI at 9:45, consumer sentiment at 10, Baker Hughes rig count at 1 p.m. as always on a Friday, and farm prices at 3 p.m. So if you're take a look at the universal calendar, folks, a lot of chock full of information on our calendar on a daily basis. For earnings activity for tomorrow, obviously Friday, including ABBV, AON, MRK, NLNK, XOM, and XRX. For your highlighted option activity for today, we'll begin with MACK. We'll also jump into LNKD. Now, folks, this is something rather interesting here. Obviously, it's linked in. 1202 August 200 call activity, 4,000 contract block at 40 cents on the offer. So whenever you're seeing call activity on the offer, it tends to be a bullish sentiment. And in this case, you're looking at the August 200s. So a bit out of the money, obviously, but you're seeing a consistent uptrend in the name here. So if we take a look at 1202, showing you just about right over here, we're looking at just about 192.64, and the stock finished at 193.37. So clearly there was a interesting bet on that particular name. Again, that's LNKD. We'll also take a look at Etsy, ETSY. Very interesting there. A little bit more short term, folks. Taking a look at 1022. So again, options tell you a lot of information, both for the short term and the longer term. We see here at 1022, we'll move it over just a moment here. So the stock is just around that $9.86. ETSY September 10 call activity. So obviously expiring in September 16th. 3,000 contract block at $1. So we're looking at about a $300,000 bet there on the offer. So again, call activity on the offer, seeing it is a bullish sentiment, and we see within, let's call it more than a half hour, right into that 11 o'clock hour. About 38 minutes or so. You had a rather significant move up to that 2027, a little bit of retracement there and continuation towards that high of the day at 1031. So a lot of value that goes into monitoring option activity as they relate to the underlying security. So again, that's ETSY. We'll get into some of the insider transactions, company filings, including TEX. We did see a 13D filing, and we'll see if we can put that up. We did see some activity there in TEX earlier when that first came out. We'll bring up that chart for you, and you really see that this is at 209, and you initially saw some volume before that, and you did see a 13D filing right over here. This is the 211 and 13D by Mercado. So again, very interesting activity there for TEX. On ABT pre-market, CEO purchasing 731,000 shares at $43.25. Very important to watch that type of information on ABT, specifically on insider transactions. You get to see what's happening C-suite level type transactions as they purchase stock with their own funds, folks. So that's really important. We'll jump into the highlighted level watch alert. We'll pull the charts over here, folks. So this is coming from Zozo level watch alert throughout the day. Get this information in real time. That's where the value is, folks. We can see that 1117 EXAS over $17.08 technical level, and you really see a really nice follow through in EXAS. Nice upward trend there, and that's EXAS. And GPRO, we'll show you that in just a moment. This is pre-market, folks, at $12.10, and you see that white line there at $12.12, and you really see that volume coming in, and even in pre-market, and a nice positive price action. Again, that's in GPRO. So folks, the trick here is to see this information in real time, and that's what our subscribers see on a daily basis. Let's move on to some of their highlighted event recaps from Merger Brief that we provide on a daily basis, one of our contributors, including DWA and CMCSA, HOT and MAR, and HUM and AET. If you're even in the know, or even if you want to take a look at how you what happens in terms of merger and risk arbitrage, how it impacts securities, what type of information, that's the type of information that TradeXchange provides on a daily basis, folks. So also, take a look at our morning mashup. We'll show you that in just a moment, how to get that EGN, early global news, blogs, contributor series, podcast that we're working on for you, folks. And this is just a short list of our contributors. So let's bring over the website just for a moment. We'll show you how to function on it. Pretty straightforward. This is the home page. If you're looking to sign up for the mashups, just click on that. We'll show you that in a moment. Same thing with EGN. And folks, if you're not a subscriber, great time to do it. Only $39.95 on the daily morning mashup, folks. If you don't receive it, put to your name, email, phone number, and we'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. Same thing with EGN, and we'll show you what that looks like in just a moment as well. This is what the morning mashup, chock full of information, really great things, including the calendar, annual meetings, merger and risk arbitrage, full list, what's happening, and key dates, particular securities, your filings, your syndicates, a lot of information, and all valuable, no matter what type of trader you are, whether you're a scalper or a little bit more longer term trader, investor. So a lot of good information. This is EGN, what it looks like on a daily basis. Pages and pages of great information, great links for you to read and be informed of what's happening with the stocks that you trade on a daily basis. So folks, thanks for checking in. This has been the Trade Exchange Market Wrap-Up for the 28th of July. Wishing all of you a very pleasant evening. See you in the morning.